Welcome to Ed Glancy Field in Chicago, NCAA Division III baseball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. It'll be Wednesday afternoon action as the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars make the trip in from River Forest to take on the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Rouse here on the call. Both of these teams getting ready to take the field in these final two matchups of the season here at Ed Glancy Field. Illinois Tech looking to get back in the win column. They've lost their last six, including a loss on Monday over at Wright Field at the hands of the University of Chicago Maroons. Today they'll take on the Concordia of Chicago Cougars, who will be led by head coach Colin Connor. And here are the starting nine for the Cougars as they get ready to take the box against Alejandro Garcia, who's on the mound today for Illinois Tech, number 14, wearing the red uniform. But here's the starting nine for the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. Batting first will be the right fielder, number 23, Tyler Dorsch. Batting second will be first baseman, number 10, Michael Kasich. Batting third will be the designated hitter, number 5, Jake Mahler. Batting cleanup will be the third baseman, number 52, Tyler Crater. Batting fifth will be the catcher, number 9, Brandon Mahler. Batting sixth will be the second baseman, number 18, Yashawn Boswell. Batting seventh will be the left fielder, number 50, Brendan Holloway. Batting eighth will be the center fielder, number 19, Eli Hickman. And batting ninth will be the shortstop, number 8, Richie Sperando. The starting nine for Illinois Tech in the field. Plenty of noticeable absences for Illinois Tech. There's no Matthew Bovey today. There's also no Tyler Gutsfeld. But here's how Illinois Tech will start in the field. They will go with Timmy Old in left field, Luke Yaknin in center, and normally the catcher, Lucas Wan, he'll be playing right field today, number 18. On the corners will be Jack Finch and Michael Paxson, who's going to be playing at first base. And over at short will be Mason Kim, more of a pitcher for Illinois Tech. Well, he'll be in the field today at short with Mario Riccio on the right side of the infield playing second base. Behind the plate today will be Tony Kramer, and he'll be the catcher for number 14, Alejandro Garcia. Garcia back on the bump for Illinois Tech after appearing in both doubleheaders here at Ed Glancy Field a week ago against Aurora and St. Norbert. Today he'll look to change the fortunes for Illinois Tech as the Scarlet Hawks look to erase a 6-game losing streak coming into this game. Illinois Tech 10-21 of the season, 6-10 in conference play. They've really struggled in their most recent conference outings. The doubleheader last week outscored 28-3 at the hands of Aurora last Tuesday, and then able to put up five runs in the doubleheader against St. Norbert, but still not enough to get a win in either contest, as St. Norbert won both games by a score of 13-3 and then won 10-2 in Game 2 on Saturday. Meanwhile, Concordia, they come in following a successful senior day for themselves on Saturday as they took on Lakeland. Final scores for Concordia on Saturday, final score of 20-4 in Game 1, and then they won Game 2 by a score of 7-3, outscoring Lakeland 27-7 football numbers in that weekend series over at River Forest. Well, today it will be Tyler Dorsch as he's ready to take the box here against Alejandro Garcia. Actually, a bit of a delay here as we get ready to start this off in just a moment here at Ed Glancy Field. Illinois Tech, unfortunately, on the losing end in the Southside Showdown on Monday, losing 11-3 at the hands of the University of Chicago Maroons. Scarlet Hawks were able to score in the third, fifth, and sixth inning. Michael Paxson adding another home run to his season total as he was able to go yard in the ball game on Monday. But Illinois Tech, a bit of an interesting lineup. Once again, we mentioned there will be no Tyler Gutsfeld today, very unusual for Illinois Tech, and also no Matthew Bovey. So Illinois Tech, a team that has been battling injuries this season, and this also, you have to remember for Illinois Tech, their 5th game in 5 days. Not exactly 5 straight, but you have to remember the doubleheader Saturday, doubleheader today, and then they played on Monday. So when these 2 games conclude today, Illinois Tech will have played 5 games in a matter of 5 days. Luckily, not as in as many days as they get ready to take on the Cougars of Concordia. And remember, Concordia, this team, they've been off since Saturday. And it was a dominant performance for the Cougars, mainly in Game 1 against Lakeland, winning by a score of 20-4. They were able to put up 6 in the second, 6 in the fifth, as Dylan Scott was able to get the win to go to 4-1 on the season. Alejandro Garcia is ready to deliver to the bump. You see him getting his warm-up tosses in here for Garcia. This will be his 12th appearance, his 4th start of the season. 4.72 ERA for Garcia. He's appeared in 26 and 2/3 innings. He struck out 21. He's walked 9. He'll start it off here against Tyler Dorsch. We're glad that you're joining us here at Ed Glancy Field, another presentation of Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks baseball. The numbers for Dorsch this season: .331 batting average, .977 on base percentage for Dorsch. This season he's hit 8 home runs. He's also knocked in 38, and he'll look to give the Cougars a good start here against Alejandro Garcia as we get ready for another presentation of Wednesday Naction final home games of the season for the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. First pitch from Garcia misses for a ball. Alejandro Garcia has appeared in the last couple of doubleheaders for Illinois Tech. Appeared against Aurora. He appeared against St. Norbert. Now getting the start here in game 1 against Concordia. The 1-0. Garcia misses outside. Actually, that one's going to be called a strike, making a 1-1 count. See where Alejandro Garcia with a different defense today. No Mason Kim. And again, the glaring omission, no Tyler Gutsfeld, the Illinois Tech leader in really most of their offensive stats. As now Dorsch flies one out to center field. That'll be Luke Yaknin in pursuit. Yaknin back to the wall, gets underneath it, actually crashes into the fence, but he makes the out.
Now batting number 10, Michael Kasich.
So now Kasich coming to the plate for the first time today. Kasich playing at first base today for for Concordia. Kasich this season, a .326 hitter. He's appeared in all 33 games this season, now 34, getting the start here at first base. First pitch to Kasich, misses outside from Alejandro Garcia. Kasich this season, a .911 on base percentage. He has 4 home runs. He's batted in 18. A .500 slugging percentage this season. And now Kasich takes a hack at one of the outside corner for a strike. 1-1 count. Alejandro Garcia, when he's out there on the mound, he's done a pretty good job. He does a really good job early on that first time through when he starts. Let's see how Concordia adjusts to him and how and vice versa. But here, Garcia able to get a pair of F8s, pair of flyouts to center field as Yaknin crashed into the wall on the first one. Much easier task this time as he makes the catch. Jake Mahler into the box now for Concordia. Mahler, the junior out of Vernon Hills. You'll see another Mahler in the lineup here for Concordia shortly. That will be Brandon Mahler. It's now Garcia taking on the designated hitter, Jake Mahler. Brandon Mahler is the catcher today for Concordia. Remember, Illinois Tech, no Matthew Bovey, no Tyler Gutsfeld in the starting lineup, at least here in game 1. Very unusual for Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks just looking to get back into the win column. They lost their last 6, including the pair of doubleheader sweeps at the hands of Aurora and St. Norbert. Mahler rips one in the right field. That gets down and goes all the way to the wall here at Ed Glancy Field. Mahler rounding first on his way to second. He's in with a stand-up double, able to chop his feet as he gets to the bag. And so a 2-out double for Mahler keeps the opening inning alive here for the visitors. And now it'll be Tyler Crater. Crater's a .331 average hitter for Concordia this season. He has 13 doubles on the season. 8 home runs, 33 batted in, looking to get number 34 here to open the scoring for Concordia. Man on second with 2 away. First pitch is a ground ball over to Mason Kim. Kim scoops it up, throws across the infield, clean out to retire the side. Nothing doing for Concordia. They leave one stranded at second. Scarlet Hawks coming to bat on the other side of this break. This is Illinois Tech Baseball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Illinois Tech coming to the plate here in the bottom of the first. They'll go up against Ryan Ranella, the starting pitcher today for the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. Coach Ed Ziefert will send the following starting nine today. He'll start with center fielder number 3, Luke Yaknin, leading off today. Batting second will be first baseman number 99, Michael Paxson. The right fielder will be number 18, Lucas Wan, batting third. Batting fourth will be the designated hitter, number 35, Philip Bentz. Batting fifth will be the shortstop, number 15, Mason Kim. Batting sixth will be left fielder, number 11, Timmy Old. Batting seventh will be the catcher, number 32, Tom Kramer. Batting eighth will be third baseman, number 24, Jack Finch. And batting ninth will be the second baseman, number 8, Mario Riccio. Ryan Ranella on the mound today. He'll see Luke Yaknin as the first batter for Illinois Tech here in the bottom of the first. Defensively for Concordia, they'll line up with Holloway, Hickman, Dorsch left to right. Crater and Kasich are the corner infielders, with Crater at third, Kasich at first. Sperando will be at short, Boswell at second. Meanwhile, first pitch for Yaknin is hit right at Crater, and it's off the glove of Tyler Crater and into the outfield as Yaknin reaches base safely. He absolutely stung that ball, and as a result, it will be scored a base hit for Luke Yaknin.
Number 99, Michael Paxson.
Great way to start the day for Illinois Tech as Luke Yaknin reaches base safely. Didn't even get to finish the Concordia defense, which will have the catcher Brandon Mahler behind the plate for Ryan Ranella. Now to be Michael Paxson, who also comes in swinging, but he hits a chopper to Sperando. They go for the 6, 4, and actually both are safe as Illinois Tech able with 2 pitches, 2 base runners.
Number 18, Lucas Long.
And Illinois Tech, you see the Scarlet Hawks attacking early. Yaknin with an absolute stinger to the third base side to reach, and now Paxson hit what should have been a 6-4-3 double play. Instead, both runners safe, and Illinois Tech already in business with the 3-hitter Lucas Wan coming to the plate. Ranella finally faces a batter that's willing to take one, and he gets a strike. Lucas Wan this season, normally a catcher for the Scarlet Hawks, getting the start out in right field here in the opener of Game 1. Wan, a 273 hitter, tries to lay down the bunt. Misses the bunt, and that's a strike. Wan, 273 hitter this season, no homers, but he has batted in 3. An opportunity to get Illinois Tech on the board here in the bottom of the first. Long wait here from Ranella. Going up against Wan. Ranella looks over to Yaknin, who gets back in safely. Now that we finally have a chance to get the numbers on Ryan Ranella. Ranella, this is his 8th appearance, 7th start of the season. 4.04 ERA. He struck out 25. He's walked 19. Wan hits one up the gut to short. The 6-4 this time is successful, and the Concordia Cougars finally complete the double play this time around as Yaknin moves over to third.
Number 35, Philip
Concordia was unable to get that double play earlier when Paxton hit a ground ball. They get it here on the 6-4-3 double play. It'll be Phillip Bentz, the designated hitter, coming up here for the Scarlet Hawks. And already an early meeting on the mound for the Cougars as Ryan Ranella, again out there in this is 8th appearance, 7th start of the season. He's appeared in 35 2/3 of an innings pitched this season, 25 strikeouts, 19 walks. He's given up 5 home runs. As now head coach Colin Connor having some words with the home plate umpire here. 2 away in the inning as Illinois Tech's designated hitter Phillip Bentz steps into the box. Bentz, a .298 hitter this season for Illinois Tech. He's knocked in 8. And here with 2 away in the inning, a chance to score Yaknin. Aggressive on the first pitch is Bentz, but he fouls it off to the right side. 0-1 count to Bentz. Have to appreciate the aggressiveness out of Illinois Tech's hitters here in the early going. And I think Ranella has noticed it as well. He tries to work away, but he works too far away for ball 1. Yaknin this season standing over at third, and now we get a foul ball for Bentz. Bentz hoping that one gets out of play, and it just does. Obviously, this is not a steal situation, but what I was going to say is Yaknin 9 of 12 in stolen base opportunities this season for Illinois Tech, so he has the speed. I was really bringing that more so if Bentz hits a chopper in the infield. If he can leg it out, Yaknin likely could as well. On the 1-2, Ranella misses outside, ball 2. Scarlet Hawks with 2 hits early in the inning after Yaknin and Paxton jumped on Ranella. But let's see if they can get something on the board or if it will be for naught. It is the latter as Bentz goes down swinging. Ranella works out of the early jam. Still scoreless. We're scoreless after 1. Concordia coming to the plate here at the top of the second on the other side of this break. You're watching Illinois Tech Baseball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Five, six, 7 hitters for Concordia here in the top of the second. It'll be Brandon Mahler, Yashawn Boswell, and Brendan Holloway. They'll be the 3 to lead it off here against Alejandro Garcia, who comes back out for his second inning of work against the visitors from River Forest. Not too far from here if you're familiar with the geography of the Chicago and Chicagoland areas. Just a quick trip over on 290 West or 290 East for Concordia to make the way here to Ed Glancy Field. First pitch here to begin the second is a ball. So 1-0 to Mahler. It was Jake Mahler. Remember, Jake Mahler, you see 2 Mahlers in the lineup for Concordia today. They got Jake Mahler who doubled. Brandon Mahler not as successful as he hits one over the third and grounds out for the first out of the second.
Now batting number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
And here's where Alejandro Garcia, when he's been on the mound for Illinois Tech, has certainly been effective, allowing his defense to work behind him. His last 2 outs, he got the ground out to Kim over at short to end the first inning. That was how he retired Tyler Crater, and he gets Mahler with the first out on the ground out to third. Yashawn Boswell comes into the box here. Boswell, a senior out of Linwood, Illinois. And the first pitch to Boswell is a strike. Linwood, one of the far south suburbs here in the Chicagoland area. Attended TF South, Thornton Fractional South, excuse me. Local habit. As now here's Garcia with the 0-1. And the ball fouled away by Boswell over to 31st Street. And already Boswell trying the same aggressive approach that we saw out of Illinois Tech early on. Tried to jump on the first two, but he fouls this one off. The 0-2. See if Garcia can find the put away. Works high, but he misses almost got away from Kramer. But Kramer able to reel it in. Boswell this season has appeared now in all 34 games for Concordia. Only one game this season that he didn't start. So this is 33rd start in 34 appearances. He's a .321 hitter is Boswell. And now finds himself at a 2-2 count. Temperatures at 63 degrees today here in the local Chicagoland area. 5-mile-per-hour winds southeast, which means that wind will be blowing from left field over towards the right field foul area. As now Boswell goes down on strikes. That's two away.
Number 50, Brendan Holloway.
The pitch by Garcia, and you can see when Garcia is pitching with that confidence here. He got the two quick strikes on Boswell, really sort of worked around the zone. He actually missed on the two previous pitches, came right back to the belt, and he caught Boswell for the strikeout. With two away now to be Brendan Holloway. Holloway, a senior out of Vernon Hills, Illinois. Steps into the box. Garcia, his first pitch to Holloway, misses low in away for a 1-0 count. Holloway this season, .258 hitter. Only his 19th start of the season, in this his 23rd appearance. 8 runs batted in for Holloway. He's drawn a walk. He's drawn 14 walks. He's been hit by a pitch once this season. And now finds himself at a 2-0 count. Illinois Tech in there. You mentioned how they're in the middle of a 6-game losing streak. Here's one thing Illinois Tech has really struggled with. It's been the 3-up, 3-down innings. Garcia working here against Holloway. And now he misses for ball 3. I wanted to refrain from mentioning that. Didn't want to get the broadcasters jinx, but might be a little too late here as Holloway now in the 3-0 count. Garcia still with time to work out of it here in the top of the second. Looks like he's going to go for the get-me-over pitch, and indeed that's what it is, right down the pipe. 3-1 count. 3-1 count on 31st Street here as Garcia gets ready. See if he tries to work back to the middle, if he tries to work middle away here. Knowing that he's got the 3 balls working against him. Tried to work away, but he worked it too far outside.
Number 19,
And Holloway draws a 2-out walk. Eli Hickman, the 8 hitter, he's starting in center field today for Concordia, will come to the box. This is a Concordia team coming in with a record of 20-13 on the season. They are 11-7 in conference play. Hickman, a .217 hitter. Another one of those players that's appeared in every game for the Cougars this season. This is his 34th start in 34 games. And he takes a strike. Holloway on first. Not really an aggressive lead, and as I say that, he takes another step off the bag. Here's the 0-1. You see, I think Garcia, he can feel Holloway. Holloway goes. Hickman swings and misses. That's strike 2. The throw is to the left side of the bag, and as a result, Holloway in safely with a stolen base. Holloway in safely And now actually Ed Ziefert having some words with the home plate umpire. Holloway with that steal. That's his 5th of the season. He's 5 for 6 in stolen base opportunities. Coach Ed Ziefert looking on as the two umpires have a meeting of the mind. While that's happening, literally diagonally away from them on the right of your screen, you see Garcia and Paxton also having a meeting of the minds for Illinois Tech. And I think Ziefert's argument was that was going to be batter's interference by Hickman. Hickman swung and missed, and when he did, he sort of stepped into Kramer's path, and as a result, scratch everything I said about Holloway getting his 5th stolen base in 6 opportunities. Instead, he is out, and that will retire the Cougars in the 2nd. Scarlet Hawks coming to bat on the other side of this break. 5, 6, 7 coming up. It'll be Kim, Old, and Kramer when we return at Ed Glancy Field. Batter's interference negates a stolen base for Brendan Holloway of Concordia. And that's how Concordia was retired in the top of the 2nd. 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for Illinois Tech here in the home 2nd. Mason Kim, Timmy Old, and Tom Kramer. It'll be Mason Kim stepping into the box first as the Scarlet Hawks try to solve Ryan Ranella and get the first score of our ball game. Chris Rouse here on the call, sitting behind home plate at Ed Glancy Field. Mason Kim, normally a pitcher for Illinois Tech, but Kim this season, his batting average right at 100. He has a run batted in, only 1 hit in 10 at-bats this season. And already, Kim in a 1-1 count as he fouls one off to the right side of the infield. Kim getting the start at shortstop today. Remember, this is an Illinois Tech team that, with Jack Fryer out, they've been dealing with injuries and trying to find that right combination of middle infielder. We've normally seen Bovee and Riccio. Well, today it'll be Mason Kim and Mario Riccio. Kim in a 2-1 count here, working against Ranella. Kim chops one to third. Ball scooped up easily by Crater, and Crater able to retire Mason Kim.
Now batting number 11, Timmy. Oh.
Interesting piece of irony here. We saw Tyler Crater in the first. He grounded out to Mason Kim. Mason Kim grounds out to Crater, and now the lineup moves for Illinois Tech with Timmy Old coming up. Timmy Old, the left fielder, of course, was a part of the senior day presentation for Illinois Tech on Saturday. That was in the pregame. And now Old takes a hearty cut here, but he comes up empty to make it an 0-1 count. Coach Ed Ziefert had plenty to say about Timmy Old in the senior day presentations on Saturday. He was saying how the recruitment of Timmy Old led to the recruitment of a number of players that you still see on this Illinois Tech roster. And in case you missed those senior day presentations, they are available in archive, much as all of the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks home games are, on YouTube That's youtube.com/Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Quick at bat for Timmy Old as he goes down on strikes. And now that'll bring up Tom Kramer. Kramer, the starting catcher today, with Lucas Wan playing out in right field. This is Kramer's second start of the season in 10 games played. 182 average for Kramer. As Ranella, with his second strikeout, delivers strike one now to Kramer. Mention how Lucas Wan is in the lineup. Tyler Gutsfeld didn't get the start. No injury for Gutsfeld, just not in the lineup here for game one. And now a 1-1 count to Kramer. Kramer gets underneath one to left field. Holloway backtracking towards the wall, right in front of the S on Scarlet Hawks out there. He makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down, as Concordia quickly retires the Scarlet Hawks in order. Top of the third coming up on the other side of this break. You're watching NCAA Division III baseball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Eli Hickman will step back into the box for Concordia here to just begin the top of the third. Hickman, the grad student out of Rensselaer, Indiana, was in the box last time in the top of the second with Brendan Holloway on first. Holloway attempted to steal second, but Hickman was swinging and missing on what would have been strike two of the at bat. His swing and miss created batter's interference, and as a result, retired Holloway. And now Hickman will begin the top of the third. First pitch to Hickman, in at the belt for a strike. Alejandro Garcia appears that he's pitching with plenty of confidence here in the early going. Once again, Garcia, I think he's one of the better, well-rounded pitchers for Illinois Tech in terms of result. He's usually good at getting those strikeouts the first time through the order. But where he sort of has problems is that second time through the order, once the batters have seen those pitches early on, and now they sort of start to tee up and start to key on certain pitches. Here in the early going, Garcia's done a good job of allowing his defense to work behind him. He has the one strikeout of Boswell. And he did give up the one walk to Holloway, but once again, that was negated via the batter's interference. 0-2 to Hickman. At the belt, Hickman able to lay off to make it a 1-2 count. See where Eli Hickman. He's got a hole right up the middle here. If he can try to hit one between Kim and Riccio. Hickman's a .217 hitter. 2 home runs, 14 batted in by Hickman this season. And the 1-2. Able to get underneath it as he bloops that one foul off to the left. Good job staying alive by Hickman. Concordia with one hit early on in the ballgame. That was Jake Mahler, a 2-out double in the first. Since then, Garcia has really only allowed the one base runner. That was the walk to Holloway. The 1-2. Appeared that one got away from Garcia to make it a 2-2 count. It's almost sort of the same result he had against Holloway, where he had Holloway in the 3-1 count. He tried to work away to Garcia. The ball just got away from him and drew the walk. 2-2. Could be working high and away here on Hickman. Hickman, I think, knew it as well, and as a result was able to catch up to it at the belt and foul it off. So we mentioned when you see, that's what I've mentioned, or that's what I'm talking about when I mentioned earlier that opposing hitters, they see those same pitches from Garcia, they start to sit on him. He's been at the fastball at the belt about 3 times against Hickman in this at bat. And also Hickman saw him in the last inning, and Hickman again, fastball at the belt, hits it to right field, and that's a home run for Eli Hickman. Great piece of hitting by Hickman.
Now batting number 8, Richie Sperando.
3rd home run of the season for Hickman, 15th batted in, and he opens the scoring here at Ed Glancy Field with a solo homer to right field. Continuously, Garcia went back to that fastball at the belt. It was fastball at the belt maybe about 3 times to Hickman, and that at bat alone. And Hickman was able to sit on it and finally hit one to right field. Now, Ed Ziefert, head coach of the Scarlet Hawks here in his 9th season, sits out. He comes out on the field, is having a word with both umpires. It's a really tight huddle there. Can't really read the conversation or read the context of the conversation. At least earlier when we saw Ziefert out there, he was pointing at the home plate. He was trying to say that there was going to be hitter's interference. And it looks like Ziefert, one of the umpires, it appears that he was saying, I'm not really sure what the discussion is about here. But as a result, Ziefert will return to the dugout. And now they're going to have a meeting with Connor. And I'm starting to think that maybe, and now they're having words with Colin Connor, the coach of Concordia. And I'm starting to think that maybe Illinois Tech is concerned about maybe Hickman hitting out of turn here. I'm not really sure. Once again, it's really tough when you don't have a mic on the field. Because due up here would be Richie Sperando, the 9-hitter for Concordia. The Concordia staff, pretty much as we just saw out of Coach Ed Ziefert, the Concordia staff. And now it's starting to get a little spicy here with the Concordia staff on the side of the third base side of the Cougars dugout. It's now both home. Now the field umpire comes over. So once again, whatever the conversation is at the moment, Concordia does not appear to be liking the argument here that was made from Ed Ziefert of Illinois Tech. And I'm starting to think that maybe it was Hickman. I'm starting to think maybe Hickman was hitting out of turn. This is what it appears that may be the argument for Concordia, or that may have been the argument from Coach Ed Ziefert. As now I can hear one of the coaches saying this is college baseball. And I'm really starting, once again, without being able to confirm this, because I'm here behind my home plate. I'm just trying to get as much as I can from the conversation. It appears that maybe Hickman was hitting out of turn there. Remember, that may be the argument from Ziefert. Remember, Hickman was in the box when Holloway was out on the batter's interference. And whatever is the cause for the delay, it is now a lengthy argument which began on the Illinois Tech first base dugout. Now it's over at the Concordia third base dugout as the umpires now step away from everyone and try to solve the issue here. They've taken the run off the run was taken off the board with Hickman hitting the homer. And once again, now the umpires, they've stepped all the way away from both dugouts, and they're back behind home plate. And this is an unfortunate circumstances now. The umpires try to solve this here in the middle of the field at Ed Glancy Field here in Chicago. Illinois Tech, this is their final home doubleheader. After this, Illinois Tech will hit the road for 3 conference doubleheaders. They'll take on Concordia University of Wisconsin on Saturday, April the 26th. They'll see Benedictine out in Lisle next Tuesday, April the 29th, and then they'll conclude the 2025 season on Friday, May the 2nd against Dominican. So Richie Sperando, so the home run from Hickman has been erased off the board. And now to be Richie Sperando, so I think that just about confirms that the wrong guy was in the box for Concordia, and it'll be Richie Sperando. Remember, Hickman had the batter's interference when Holloway attempted to steal second at the end of the second, or at the top of the second to end the second. And as a result, the homer from Hickman will officially be erased out of the scoreboard, so that will not count as a homer for Concordia. We are still scoreless. And it'll be Richie Sperando re-leading off the third. And now he hits a chopper to the left side. Ball scooped up by Finch and whipped across the infield for an out.
Now batting number 23, Tyler Dorsch.
So Tyler Dorsch coming up here for Concordia with 1 out in the inning. And that's unfortunate. Eli Hickman did a good, after the 2-2 count, he adjusted well to the pitches at the belt. He hit a home run, all for naught. Basically a figment of our imagination. Did not happen statistically. First pitch from Garcia misses for ball 1 to Dorsch. So after a lengthy argument, by the way, Coach Ed Ziefer did win that argument that Concordia was hitting out of order with Eli Hickman, thanks to the batter's interference. Remember, he had the batter's interference in the second. And now ball 2 here to Tyler Dorsch. Tough break for Richie Sperando as well. He had to wait quite some time just to get into the box. He was walking up, and that was sort of where the argument began. And it eliminated, took away precious time for Sperando to get into the plate. And now 2-1 count. One away in the inning as Tyler Dorsch turns the lineup over here for Concordia in the third. Dorsch flew out to center field. That was Yaknin who retired him at the wall for the first out of the day. But now Dorsch finds himself in a 3-1 count. And here's where Garcia sort of struggles when he goes through the opposing lineup the second time. He starts to work away. Some of those pitches starting to miss that zone, and now he finds himself in a hitter's count against Dorsch. And a walk as Dorsch will now take his base over at first.
Batting number 10, Michael Kasich.
Second walk of the day already allowed by Garcia. He walked Holloway, which essentially set up the controversy that we just saw there with Hickman being the hitter on the batter's interference, as Holloway was trying to steal second in the top of the second. And now he walks Dorsch with 1 away in the inning. Kasich flew out to center field his first time up as well. He flew out right to Yaknin. Yaknin had an easier time retiring Kasich than he did retiring Dorsch. Had to make contact with one of those poles holding up the fence here at Ed Glancy Field to make that first out. Garcia checks over to first. Dorsch back in. So the home run from Eli Hickman negated. Looks good in the highlights, but statistically will not count. Man on first, one away. 1-0 count. Runner goes. Dorsch on his way to second. The throw took a bit of a funny hop. Dorsch able to get in safely. So that'll make it a 1-1 count to Kasich as Dorsch is able to steal. So Concordia, after Holloway was thrown out on the batter's interference, they try it again, and this time Dorsch is safe. 13th stolen base of the season for Dorsch. 13 for 19 on the season is Tyler Dorsch, the starting right fielder for Concordia here in Game 1. Dorsch, the senior out of Phoenix, Arizona, now finds himself in scoring position. Ball fouled back by Kasich, and that ball went right to the backstop and landed perfectly right in front of me here at the backstop. And it's a 1-2 count. Literally almost lodged right into the bottom part of the net here before Tyler Crater came over and took the ball back to the dugout. The 1-2 from Garcia. Tried to work away, missed in the dirt. And that's where Garcia has sort of had his problems here in Game 1, trying to work outside. Puts a little bit too much on some of those outside pitches. They break a little too far, maybe too much heat, depending on which pitch he goes with. Here's the 2-2. Long look at Dorsch. Kasich hits one to right field. That one going back to the wall. Lucas Juan able to get underneath it. And that retires the side for Concordia here in the third. Scarlet Hawks coming to bat. Bottom of the third on the other side of this break. When we return to Ed Glancy Field.
Number 24, Jack Finch.
Controversial top of the third. Now we go to the bottom half with Illinois Tech. Want their 8-9 one-hitters. Finch, Riccio, and Yaknin will lead it off here for Illinois Tech. So Scarlet Hawks will turn the lineup over when they get back to Yaknin. Jack Finch, the starting third baseman today for Illinois Tech. His first time in the box. Battle of the 24s. Here's Finch will take on Ranella. First pitch to Finch is outside for a ball. 1-0 count to Finch. And Finch already quick second pitch in for a 2-0. Count to Finch. And Finch, swings and a miss. Makes it a 2-1 count. Hardy cut there from Finch. He tried to put some pop behind that swing. The 2-1. Makes it a 3-1 count, so Finch. And a hitter's count. Let's see if he has the green light here. You have to think that this could be a get-me-over for Ranella. It is a get-me-over pitch, but Finch unable to catch up to it and swings and misses. So Concordia with a home run taken off the board from Eli Hickman in the top of the inning as he hit out of order. And now Finch goes down on strikes. Third strikeout for Ranella. Ranella struck out Bentz to end the first, Old to get strike 2, and now he strikes out Finch for the first out. He got Bentz to end the first, Old for the second out of the second, and he strikes out Finch to begin the third. And a 1-0 count. Mario Riccio at the plate. And Riccio already in a 2-0 count. That was great work from Ranella. He was down 3-1 against Finch. A couple of good cuts from Finch, but he came up empty on both swings. Riccio in the 2-0. Make it 2-1. Riccio, a 154 hitter for Illinois Tech this season. This is his 15th game played, his 8th start. And he finds himself in the 3-1 count. You see Ranella working quickly here against the Scarlet Hawks. The 3-1. Misses high. Riccio takes his base. So that'll turn the lineup over for Luke Yaknin. Illinois Tech's first 3 hitters of the game, Yaknin, Paxton, and Juan, were all aggressive. Yaknin tried to jump on the first pitch he saw, and he actually did. He got a single. Paxton tried to do the same, and what should have been a double play ball turned out with both he and Yaknin becoming safe on the bases. So let's see how Illinois Tech adjusts here their second time through the order. Man on first, 1 away for Yaknin. They check on Riccio. He's back in safely. Riccio with that walk. That was his 5th walk drawn this season. Riccio only 1 stolen base this year for Illinois Tech. And Ranella tried to get him there, and the umpire said that was a close tag. But not in time as he was able to get back in. The 1-0 to Yaknin. Swing and a miss for a strike. Yaknin absolutely stung a ball to the hot corner over there, which was Tyler Crater at third base. It actually hit off Crater's glove and went in the outfield. It's a 1-1 count as they check on Riccio again. Riccio with a few aggressive leads here to make it 1-1. Yaknin gets underneath one, fouls it over to the right side. So that'll make it a 1-2 count to the starting center fielder for Illinois Tech. Yaknin's been aggressive in the field. Actually got the first couple of outs of the game as Dorsch and Kasich flew out to Yaknin in center. One Yaknin ran into the fence. The other one was able to camp underneath. This one Yaknin hits right over my head here behind home plate. And that'll be a foul ball as well. One-two count. Yaknin has certainly been aggressive. He's been very selective here. But he's been able to stay alive. He takes one on the outside corner, and Ranella strikes him out.
Now batting number 99, Michael Maxson.
4th strikeout for Ranella as he adds Yaknin to his K collection here. He struck out Bentz, Old, Finch, and now Yaknin. And Ranella has struck out the 2 outs in the inning via the K for Ranella. Struck out Finch swinging, Yaknin looking. Paxson jumps on one to right center field. That ball is traveling and gone. Michael Paxson with a 2-run homer. Illinois Tech opening the scoring here as Michael Paxson drills another home run. He hit one at a professional ballpark on Monday. Now back at home. More of the same for 99 in red. Great piece of hitting by Michael Paxson as he drills one far to right center field. And he hit that, I have to say, he hit that one to the right part of the park because he hit that one all, maybe a few feet right. He hits that to the big fence, that big porch out in right field. Instead, he hit it to the perfect part of right center field. 6th homer of the season for Paxson. And Illinois Tech opens the scoring. Juan hits one up the middle, and it gets through. Esperando. It appeared Esperando took his eyes off the ball there.
Now batting number 35, Phillip Bentz.
And now here comes Phillip Bentz for Illinois Tech. Great piece of hitting there by Juan. Really just hit that one right back to Esperando. And they actually scored that in error. It was well stung by Juan. I thought maybe that was going to get through anyway. Esperando really took his eyes off the ball as he got there. And as a result, it got through for a hit. Or it scored an E6 with Juan standing over at first. Phillip Bentz in the box. We mentioned how Ranella has 4 strikeouts. Well, Bentz was the first of those 4, and already Bentz in a 2-strike count. Here's the 0-2. Bentz rips one into right field. That gets down. Juan with an aggressive turn around second. He will stay there. And Illinois Tech with 2 outs in the inning, keeping the line moving.
Number 15, Mason Kim.
So Mason Kim back into the box. Kim 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to third his first time up in the second. And ball 1 to Kim. 4th hit of the game for Illinois Tech. Huge homer from Paxson as he drilled one to right center field to give Illinois Tech the early 2-0 advantage here in the third. Mason Kim with a man at second. Would love to help Illinois Tech add on to this lead. Kim rips one to short, but he hits it right at Esperando to retire the side. But that's not before Michael Paxson hit his 6th home run of the season. Scarlet Hawks lead it 2-0 here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. You're watching NCAA Division III Baseball live from Ed Glancy Field in Chicago. Scarlet Hawks lead it 2-0 going into the top of the 4th thanks to the 2-run homer from Michael Paxson.
Now batting number 5, Jake Mahler.
But now back into the field Illinois Tech will see the 3, 4, 5 hitters for Concordia to be Jake Mahler, Tyler Crater, and Brandon Mahler. Mahler with a double already in the ballgame is 1 for 1 to this point as he'll go against Alejandro Garcia, who's out there for his 4th inning of work. Mahler, he got the 2-out double after Garcia had made quick work. He made quick work of the first 2 batters he faced to begin the game, and now Mahler jumps on the first pitch, right center field. Home run for real this time for Concordia as Mahler rips one out, and the Cougars get on the board. Quick response for Concordia as Mahler hits the home run. So Mahler pretty much gets that home run back that Concordia had taken off the board earlier when Eli Hickman hit out of turn.
Number 52, Tyler Crater.
And now the line continues to move for Tyler Crater. Good home run there from Mahler. As you can hear the celebration in the dugout for Concordia. Mahler is the average leader for Concordia entering the game, hitting .339. That was his 5th home run of the season. 5 home runs, 23 batted in for Jake Mahler. Now Crater pops one up. That's going to head over our heads behind home plate for strike 1. Tyler Crater was the final out of the first inning. He grounded out to Mason Kim. And then ironically, when Mason Kim came up in the bottom of the second, the first out for Illinois Tech, he grounded out to Crater. Crater would like to get one out of the infield this time, but instead he takes the ball in the dirt. On this pitch, 1-1. One run, 2 hits, 1 error for Concordia. The error was when Lucas Wan hit one up the gut in the bottom of the 3rd, and shortstop Richie Sperando really just unable. Really looked like he took his eyes off the ball. He charged it well. He got there, but when he got there, just didn't handle it. And Sperando watched it get through. The 1-2 count to Crater. Crater fouls one off to the 31st Street side here. And actually, that ball, interesting ricochet off of the tree outside of Ed Glancy Field here. But a 1-2 count for Crater. Mahler with the leadoff homer here in the 4th. And remember, Garcia did give up a homer earlier to Eli Hickman. That was taken off the board due to Hickman hitting out of order. And he was the first out of the top of the 3rd. Meanwhile, it's a 2-2 count to Crater. Where I was going with the home run being taken off the board from Hickman and the home run from Mahler, both pitchers were at the belt. Those fastballs up in the zone. That's where Concordia seems to feel like they found their hot spot here to Garcia in Exhibit A right there. As that was Crater, looked like he sort of golfed that one a little bit, but he's able to rip one out to left field, and just like that, we've got a brand new ball game here at Ed Glancy Field. Concordia had a home run taken off the board. They gave up a 2-run homer. Well, their first 2 batters of the 4th come in, and they get it right back. Jake Mahler and Tyler Crater with home runs to tie the game. And Ed Ziefert is going to come out to the mound and have a word with Alejandro Garcia, and let's see if that'll do it. It doesn't appear that Ziefert is planning to take the ball. Garcia was spinning it in his hand here. And Concordia, I have to say, that's an impressive adjustment, showing plenty of resiliency by the Cougars. They had a home run taken off the board, and it really appeared to take the air out of their dugout for just a moment. You could hear one of their coaches even saying this is college baseball. He was upset with the run being taken off the board. But no problem for the Cougars, despite giving up the 2-run homer to Michael Paxton in the bottom of the 3rd. They come in with a pair of home runs to lead off the 4th. It comes at a good time for Concordia as now they get to the middle of the order, the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up, with Brandon Mahler. We saw Jake Mahler hit the home run. Now it'll be Brandon Mahler, followed by Yashawn Boswell and Brendan Holloway. And it goes back to what I mentioned earlier with Alejandro Garcia. It's typically that second time through the order where he starts to have his struggles, and actually that will do it for Alejandro Garcia here in Game 1. Coach Ziefert takes the ball. He will go to the pen. New pitcher for Illinois Tech. When we return, we'll get his information on the other side of this break here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Alejandro Garcia's day comes to an end after 2 2/3 innings pitched. After three plus innings pitched here at Ed Glancy Field. 42 pitches for Garcia. He gave Illinois Tech 3 innings, 3 plus. Gave up 3 hits, 2 home runs back to back. Walked a couple, and he struck out 1. But now Illinois Tech will go to the bullpen. It'll be number 23, John Gorey, coming on. This will be the 12th appearance for Gorey, who has a couple of starts to his belt as well, a record of 1-1. He has a 4.43 ERA, does Gorey. He's struck out 22. He's walked 13. Has yet to give up a home run this season, but he has a 263 batting average against this season. And just as quickly as Illinois Tech gained momentum by jumping ahead with their 2-run homer, they now find themselves right back to where we started, tied with Concordia, this time 2 apiece. As now the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for Gorey. It'll be Mahler, Boswell, and Holloway following the home runs from Jake Mahler and Tyler Crater. This is Brandon Mahler, the starting catcher today. As now he'll face Gorey. First batter for Gorey out of the pen. And Gorey misses for a ball. John Gorey, the hard-throwing right-hander. You expect those fastballs to be aplenty with 23 on the mound for Illinois Tech. Gorey's fastball in the outside corner. Good pitch there. Good placement to go 1-1. Coach Ed Ziefert looking on as Illinois Tech hoping that Gorey can come in and keep this score right where it is at 2-2 so the Scarlet Hawks can get back into the box. Illinois Tech, if you're wondering, on the other side of this break or on the other side of this inning, will be the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Old, Kramer, and Finch. But the task at hand is John Gorey versus Brandon Mahler. Mahler gets underneath one on the pitch from Gorey, and Gorey lets his defense work behind him as Lucas Wan makes the play for the first out of the inning.
Now batting number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
We've just about seen it all here. We've had batter's interference. We've seen a hitter hit out of turn, a home run that wasn't a home run. Then in turn, we've seen 3 home runs since that have counted. And John Gorey, the first pitching change of the day. And now he has faced Yashawn Boswell with 1 away in the inning. Boswell showed bunt for strike 1. I think Boswell was trying to get clarification And now Gorey gets set, the 0-1. Boswell rips one in the left. Good piece of hitting by Boswell as he absolutely drove that in the left field over the head of Mason Kim. And a one-out single for the starting second baseman
Now batting number 50, Brendan Holiday.
of the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. Brendan Holloway will come to the box. Now, Holloway, incidentally, was sort of the creator of the controversy early on. He walked with two out in the second, and it was the batter's interference call as he was trying to steal second, which retired Eli Hickman. So then when Hickman came to the plate in the top of the third, he had a full at bat and hit a home run to right field, which was negated because he hit out of turn. He shouldn't have been in the box anyway. And he was ruled the first out of the third. Hickman was. Holloway back up again here and already in an 0-1 count. Boswell took a lead off the bag. He's back in safely. Boswell out of Linwood, Illinois. Holloway out of Vernon Hills, Illinois. One from the north suburbs. That's Holloway, Vernon Hills. One from the far south suburbs here in the Chicagoland area, Boswell. It's an 0-1 count. Boswell taking a long lead off the bag. He thought about going there. Good job by Kramer coming out of the crouch, but Boswell already jumping back to the bag in a 2-strike count. Top of the fourth, John Gorey would love to get out of this one here with a double play ball. We saw Concordia dial one up earlier. They got Lucas Wanda into the 6-4-3 back in the first. Two-strike count. Runner goes. Holloway with a check. Kramer couldn't hold on. And as a result, Boswell able to steal safely. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes to Holloway with Boswell stealing second. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Concordia. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Illinois Tech. Holloway fouls one off. And he'll stay alive here in the 2-2 count. John Gorey takes a long look at Boswell over at second. The delivery. Holloway gets underneath one to right center field. Juan and Yachnin converging on the ball. Juan makes the play for out number 2 in the inning.
Now batting number 19, Eli Hickman.
So now here's Eli Hickman. Hickman had a home run earlier that once again was negated due to him hitting out of order following a batter's interference to end the second. So now Hickman will get to take his cuts this time in the box against Gorey. Ball gets away from Kramer. Boswell advances over to third. And with 2 outs in the inning, Concordia now has a runner 90 feet from helping them take a 3-2 advantage. Remember, Brandon Mahler flew out. Brendan Holloway also flew out. And now with Boswell at third, Hickman chops one to the right side of the infield. 1-1 count. John Gorey, the hard-throwing right-hander for Illinois Tech, awaits the signal from Kramer. And they get the strike. 1-2 count. Good pitch from Gorey. With 2 away in the inning, you can see he's just going to go right at Eli Hickman. And the 1-2. Let's see where Gorey goes for the put away. And he struck him out. Good job by Gorey. As he retires the side, he gets Hickman looking. Illinois Tech coming back to the plate here in the bottom of the fourth. But following 2 home runs from Jake Mahler and Tyler Crater, we are tied. Scarlet Hawks looking to break that tie with their 6, 7, 8 hitters on the other side of this break here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and YouTube Live. Ryan Ranella back on the mound here for Concordia as we get ready to begin the bottom of the fourth. Ranella to this point of the ball game has struck out 4, including the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the fourth. Timmy Old got him swinging for the second out of the second inning. Timmy leading off here in the fourth, and the first pitch to Old misses low and away for ball 1. It'll be Old, Kramer, and Finch, 6, 7, 8 coming up here for Illinois Tech. Combined 0 for 3 their first time through the lineup with 2 strikeouts. Old jumps on this one and hits it to left field. Holloway in pursuit. That gets down. Timmy Old with a hard turn at first. He's in the second safely, and he'll chop it up and stand in. Hard clap from Timmy Old as he gets a lead-off double for Illinois Tech. I know I mentioned this earlier, but I feel like it's worth mentioning again. Head coach Ed Ziefert said Timmy Old really was the catalyst for really the creation of this roster. And the recruitment of Timmy Old helped him bring in a number of players that you see on this Illinois Tech roster to this day. There you see Old with the double here. That's his 3rd of the season. Kramer lays down a bunt. That's actually a pretty good bunt. Ranella had to go a long way to make the play, but Old will go to 3rd.
Number 24, Jack Finch.
So as a result, Illinois Tech gets Old to 3rd, and that's exactly how you want to bunt it. Kramer bunted that ball to the third base side. There was going to be no play for Ranella unless he can do a quick 360, and even still, you're counting on pinpoint accuracy at that point. Now Finch able to bloop one to left. That might get down. Actually, good adjustment by Holloway. And he managed to keep Old from scoring. That was a great adjustment by Holloway. And just like that, 2 outs in the inning. For a brief moment, it appeared that Finch. For a brief moment, it appeared that Finch had hit it perfectly. He blooped it perfectly where Holloway was just going to be unable to charge the ball. Instead, it stayed up just enough for Holloway to get there. And then Holloway with a bit of a rocket throw got it back into the infield in a hurry to keep Old at 3rd. So now to be Riccio, who takes strike 1. Riccio walked and later came around to score on the 2-run homer from Paxson. And now Riccio makes it a 1-1 count. 2-2 ball game. Riccio is the 1 of the 2 for Illinois Tech. Paxson being the 2, obviously hitting the homer. And now Riccio, hearty cut there from Riccio. Hearty cut means he's swinging from his heart there, but he comes up empty. 1-2 count. 1-2, 2 away in the inning for Riccio. Ball in the outside corner, and Ranella strikes out Riccio for his 5th strikeout of the ball game. And just like that, Illinois Tech, the leadoff double from Timmy Old, stranded 90 feet from scoring. Top of the 5th coming up. Illinois Tech and the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars are tied as we head to the 5th here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Rondo coming up here for Concordia to begin the top of the 5th. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Cougars. Sperando, Dorsch, and Kasich as they go up against John Gorey in a 2-2 ball game here at Ed Glancy Field in Chicago. Chris Rouse on the call here behind home plate. Sperando showing bunt. Had to back out of the way on the heater from Gorey for ball 1. Consistently, John Gorey, known as the hard-throwing right-hander, that's certainly on display there. As that one unfortunately got away from John. But luckily, Sperando able to get out of the way without being hit. And now a 2-0 count. That ball just around, first pitch was around Sperando's head. Second pitch well away, low on the outside corner. Sperando grounded out in the 3rd for out number 2. Remember, he came into the box following the lengthy delay after the umpires were trying to figure out what happened with Eli Hickman, who at the time had hit out of turn for Concordia. Sperando was out number 2 as he grounded out to the 3rd baseman Finch. Sperando now with a 3-0 count. I was going to say could work a 4-pitch walk, and he does just that. Sperando takes his base. So now Tyler Dorsch will come to the box. Dorsch flew out to center his first time up and then later drew a walk and then stole second. 13 of 19 on the season is Dorsch in stolen base opportunities following the steal he had back in the 3rd inning. First pitch to Dorsch is a strike. Gorey. A long look inside. Misses low. Kramer tried to throw to first in time to get Sperando, and unsuccessful in doing so. Back in is Sperando. John Gorey going up against Tyler Dorsch. Battle of the number 23 uniforms here. Concordia's uniform sort of remind me of that bit of a vest era that we used to see in Major League Baseball, where teams would have the sort of the jersey over the top and the sleeves on the side. I remember the White Sox used to have the black sleeves with the white top. The then Tampa Bay Devil Rays used to have the green sleeves with the white top. Concordia sort of with a similar look to that era of baseball. Meanwhile, here's Dorsch, who hits one in the left field, and that was a bouncing ball into the outfield. Sperando was getting ready to round second as it appeared that Old was having problems digging the ball out of the grass. But instead it'll be first and second with nobody out for Kasich. Kasich is 0 for 2 to this point of the ball game. He's flown out to center. He's flown out to right. And let's see if he can avoid the omen of flying out to the left. It appears he's going to show bunt here with Paxton now charging the infield, already on the infield grass. The ball gets away from Kramer, and the bunt will not be necessary as now both runners advance. The ball was mishandled by Kramer. And that allows Sperando to go to third, Dorsch to second. And let's see Kasich's approach now as the runners both move up 90 feet. Kasich still showing bunt. He pulls it back, but that's in for a strike. 1-1 count. So John Gorey in his first jam of the day since coming in to replace Alejandro Garcia. And that ball gets past Kramer. That's going to allow Sperando to come in easily. And Concordia takes the lead, 3-2 Cougars. Pair of mishandled pitches behind the plate by Kramer allows the runners to move up. First it allowed him to move up, then it allowed Sperando to move in. And now Dorsch staying in the same spot. He's now 90 feet from coming to home plate here. Gorey in for a strike, 2-2 count. Three runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Concordia. But a 2-2 count here for Michael Kasich. Kasich chops one to the left side of the infield. That'll score Dorsch easily. And now Kasich with a hard turn around first. He'll stay there, having given the Cougars a 4-2 advantage.
Now batting number 5, Jake Mahler.
RBI single for Kasich. As now here comes Jake Mahler. But that'll have to wait until after Ed Ziefert makes the pitching change here. Ziefert's signaling to the bullpen. And that will do it for John Gorey. Concordia now leading it 4-2. Top of the 5th, John Gorey will head to the dugout. As that wraps up his appearance here in Game 1. It'll be Joseph Bellflower coming to the mound for Illinois Tech. On the other side of this break, we'll give you more information on Bellflower when we return. The junior out of Orlando, Florida, takes the bump here at Ed Glancy Field on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. New pitcher for the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks will be number 51, Joseph Bellflower. Bellflower comes in to replace John Gorey. He comes in with a 4-2 deficit and also still looking for the first out of this 5th inning for the Scarlet Hawks. Bellflower is 6 foot, 175-pound right-handed junior out of Orlando, Florida. For Bellflower, this will be his 7th appearance of the season. Has a 7.08 ERA. He's pitched 20 1/3 this season for Illinois Tech. He has 14 strikeouts, 9 walks to this point of the season. And the first batter Bellflower will face will be Jake Mahler. Mahler homered last time up in the fourth. That was the one of those four for Concordia. So Mahler got the offense started officially from Concordia. Remember, they had a home run erased off the board by Eli Hickman. So the Cougars have seen the ball leave the yard 3 times today. But Mahler with the first official home run of the 2 that counted. Mahler's first pitch is a ball here. Makes it a 1-0 count. Man on first is Michael Kasich. But still no one out in the inning. We've seen a walk from Sperando. We saw a single from Dortch. A pair of pass balls allowed both runners to advance, and then later it allowed Sperando to score. Dortch scored on the single from Kasich. And that's where John Gorey's day ended, and then the ball was given to Bellflower here to take on Mahler. The 2-0. Worked a little too close to Mahler on the inside, and now Bellflower finds himself in a 3-0 hitter's count. Paxson trying to keep Kasich close to the bag over at first. Illinois Tech still looking to record that first out here in the 5th. Bellflower's Get Me Over does just that for a strike. 3-1 count. It appears that Concordia, they're looking for fastballs. You saw them jump on the pitches from Garcia. They jumped on the hard-throwing right-hander Gorey. And now Bellflower loses Mahler. And now first and second, still no one out for Tyler Crater, who also homered last time up. He is the 2 of those 4 for Concordia. Kasich at second, Mahler at first. Crater at the plate with no one out. Bellflower got one in on the outside corner for a strike. It appeared Illinois Tech with Bellflower. This is their 3rd pitcher already here in the 5th. It appears all 3 have really had a hard time just finding that outside corner, so that was a good sign for Bellflower. And now Bellflower tried to work back in and does just that, working at the knees. Saw Gorey and Garcia working at the belt early on. Concordia able to time up Garcia for the pair of home runs. And now 2-strike count as Bellflower works to Crater. He tries to pick off the runner at second to throw in time as Bellflower able to pick off Kasich. Good read by Bellflower as he and Riccio combined to get the pickoff and the first out of the inning. So now 1 away in the inning. And a strikeout. So just like that, Bellflower goes from nobody out in the inning. He gets a pickoff for 1, and he strikes out Crater for 2. This will bring up Brandon Mahler. Mahler to this point of the ball game is 0 for 2. He grounded out to third, is back in the second, and he flew out to right in the 4th. First pitch here to Mahler is a ball. Jake Mahler, the runner, at first, as now Bellflower checks over. I guess he heard me, picks over, but Mahler back in safely. You got Jake Mahler at first, Brandon Mahler at the plate. See how Bellflower can do to retire the Mahlers here in the 5th. Gets a strike. Once again, Bellflower probably Probably a vote of confidence here from Coach Ed Ziefer. He's doing a good job working low in the zone here, especially working low and away. Something Illinois Tech, they really weren't getting out of Garcia and Gorey early on in the game. And now Mahler fouls one back to make it a 1-2 count. Some of the Concordia faithful that made the trip in from River Forest wanting Mahler to attack here in a 1-2 count. Let's see where Bellflower goes for the put away. We'll have to wait as he tries to pick off Jake Mahler. And now Brandon to get another second here to think about it. Let's see where Brandon can go here. He's got a pretty good gap on the right side of the infield. Instead, he pops that one straight up behind us here at the table. And we'll do it again, 1-2. Joseph Bellflower coming in relief, the third pitcher of the game if you're just joining us here on YouTube Live. Brandon Mahler stepping out of the box here. And now Brandon Mahler, I'm not sure what's the issue here with Mahler, is now he stepped out of the box. And I guess he was trying to just get the sign here. Wasn't too sure what he wanted to do here in a 1-2 count with 2 away in the inning. Bellflower would love to get this out and get the Scarlet Hawks back to the box. The 1-2 as Bellflower looks in. Mahler rips one to right field. That one back to the wall and gone as it lands in the tree. A home run for Brandon Mahler, a 2-run blast, and Concordia extends their lead, 6-2. Bellflower got 2 quick outs, thought he was going to get out of it here, but Brandon Mahler on a 2-strike pitch, after he got the sign, he ends up sending one to the right field porch for a home run. A pair of Mahlers touch home as Concordia extends their lead to 6-2. Yashawn Boswell to the plate. Boswell 1 for 2 so far. Struck out back in the second, singled in the fourth. First pitch he sees here in the fifth is a ball. 1-0. So Bellflower was 1 pitch away from getting out of it. Instead, he gives up a homer, and now he'll get Boswell to fly out to center field. And that will retire the side, but not before Concordia strikes for another home run. This time it's a 2-run blast as Brandon Mahler touches them all, along with Jake Mahler, to make it 6-2 Concordia. Scarlet Hawks coming back to the plate in the bottom of the fifth. Here on YouTube Live, you're watching NCAA Division III Baseball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Illinois Tech at the top of the order here in the bottom of the fifth. It'll be Luke Yaknin, Michael Paxson, and Lucas Wan leading off as they get ready to take on Ryan Ranella. Ryan Ranella back out there for his fifth inning of work to this point of the ball game for the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. Through 4 innings, Ranella has delivered 53 pitches. He struck out 5. He's walked 1. But his first pitch here to Luke Yaknin is a ball. Yaknin 1 for 2 to this point of the ball game. Absolutely stung the first pitch he saw today to the third base side. But then he went down looking back in the third. Brief check on Ranella from the Concordia coaching staff. As now Ranella settles in and gets ready for the task at hand, which will be the top 3 hitters in the lineup today for Illinois Tech. Yaknin shows bunt, but comes up empty for a strike. If you're just joining us, Concordia with a 6-2 advantage, 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Illinois Tech 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Home runs aplenty here at Ed Glancy Field today. We've seen Jake Baller hit a home run for Concordia. Tyler Crater also with a home run. And then most recently, Brandon Mahler, the 2-run homer to make it 6-2. Luke Yaknin takes ball 2 here in this at-bat. And then earlier, Michael Paxson with a 2-run homer for Illinois Tech in the bottom of the third. That actually opened the scoring today. Illinois Tech had a 2-run lead. But Concordia able to follow up with 6 unanswered as now Yaknin goes down on strikes.
Now batting number 99, Michael Paxson.
And speaking of Michael Paxson, here is Paxson. Paxson 2 for 2 to this point of the ball game. He's got a single and a home run, the 2-run homer we mentioned earlier. Paxson's certainly been swinging the bat well. He had the home run over at 35th Street on Monday for Illinois Tech. And now he swings away here, hits one to the left side. I don't think the outfielders can see it. They lost it in the sun. That was a great adjustment by Sperando. Sperando was the main one with his hands out saying he didn't see it. But at the last moment, was able to get that glove up and make the play. And just like that, 2 quick outs for Illinois Tech here in the inning. That'll bring up Lucas Wan. Wan hit into a double play back in the first. And so now Wan takes a strike. Number one hit into the double play earlier in the ballgame back in the first. Then he reached on an error. He chopped one right up the gut where Sperando, the shortstop who just made the out on Paxson, did a good job of charging the ball, but sort of took his eyes off of it as he was going to make the play, and it bounced past him, allowing Juan to reach safely. Juan now hits the chopper over to first. Illinois Tech retired in short order, nothing doing here. And that's an easy put away by Kasich at first, 3 unassisted. Top of the 6th coming up on the other side of this break. Concordia leads at 6-2. Still to come, still more to come here from Ed Glancy Field in Chicago. You're watching NCAA Division III baseball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Number 19, Phil Trojanowski, the new pitcher for Illinois Tech. He'll come in to make his 10th appearance of the season for the Scarlet Hawks. 16 innings pitched thus far for Trojanowski with a 15.75 ERA. He struck out 12. He's walked 11. He's given up 5 home runs. He has a batting average against of .392. And he will begin his day against the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Concordia. Brendan Holloway, Eli Hickman, and Richie Sperando. Of course, this is the controversial part of the order that we for Concordia, where earlier in the game they had a batter hit out of turn, and it completely negated the home run from Eli Hickman. But Concordia, despite that home run being taken off the board, they've been able to retaliate with 3 home runs in the ballgame. Trojanowski's pitch misses for a ball. Chris Rouse here sitting behind home plate at Ed Glancy Field. Concordia with 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error to this point of the game. Meanwhile, Brendan Holloway 0 for 1. He worked the walk earlier in the second, and then he flew out to right in the fourth. 2-0 count. And now Holloway takes one to the outside corner for a 2-1. Trojanowski is the 4th pitcher for Illinois Tech here in today's game. Garcia, Gorey, Bellflower, and now Trojanowski. As Holloway hits one right up the gut, right to Riccio. And it should be an easy put away at first, and that is the case. Good job by Riccio.
Now batting number 19, Eli Hickman.
And now here comes Eli Hickman. Hickman 0 for 2 in this ball game today. The 0 for 1 was hitting out of turn. The 2 he struck out looking. And now Illinois Tech with 1 away in the inning. Hickman rips that one to left center field. That'll get down for Hickman. And now Hickman takes the hard turn around first. He's in the second base safely with a double.
Now batting number 8, Richie Sperando.
And Concordia working relatively quickly here going back to the bottom of the 5th. That was a quick 3-up, 3-down inning in the field. Now here at the plate already, Hickman standing at second with 1 away in the inning. Really trying to jump all over Trojanowski with him just coming out of the pen. That ball hit right back to me here at the backstop. And that'll be a foul on the bunt attempt from Sperando. Sperando grounded out to third his first time up in the 3rd. He walked and later came around to score on a pass ball in the 5th. Sperando now with a pair of foul balls finds himself in a 2-strike count against Phil Trojanowski. With an 0-2 count here, a few places Trojanowski could go. Could work on the low outside corner. He could work up and in here. As he and Kramer get the sign, it appears they may try to work low and away here. The 0-2. It is away. Not necessarily low, but he got him as he got Sperando looking on the outside corner.
Now batting number 23, Tyler Dorsch.
So Trojanowski with his first strikeout as he retires Sperando for the second out of the inning. Lineup turns over for Concordia. It will be Tyler Dorsch. Dorsch 1 for 2 with a walk to this point of the ballgame. Dorsch flew out his first time up to begin the game. Then last time up, he singled in the 5th and later came around to score. He represents run number 4 of the 6 on the board for Concordia. The 0-1. Missed outside for a ball. Wouldn't be surprised to see Trojanowski get comfortable in that outside corner and look to that spot as the put-away pitch. Wasn't necessarily the low at the knees pitch I expected to strike out Sperando. But Trojanowski is comfortable pitching to that outside, and you see some similarities between he and Bellflower out of the two most recently used relievers by Ed Ziefert. Coach Ziefert looking on, having some words with assistant coach Ryan Cantlin. 1-1 count from Trojanowski. Dorsch fouls that one off. Paxton charging towards the fence. Out of my sight as that one goes foul. One-two count to Dorsch. And Trojanowski taking a long look here as he and Kramer again trying to find the put away here to retire the leadoff hitter for Concordia. Dorsch fouling one off again. Let's see where Phil Trojanowski goes for this 1-2 put away. With Dorsch in Concordia, the Cougars have been sitting on those pitches at the belt. Might work up and in here. He works up, but that one gets chopped towards short. Kim charging the ball. The throw to first. In time. Good play by Mason Kim. Done a good job at short today for Illinois Tech. And that'll help the Scarlet Hawks retire the side here in the top of the sixth. It's a 6-2 lead for Concordia. Scarlet Hawks coming back to bat. We've got more for you here from Ed Glancy Field in Chicago. You're watching NCAA Division III baseball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. 4-5-6 for Illinois Tech here in the bottom of the sixth. Phillip Bentz, Mason Kim, Timmy Old coming up as the Scarlet Hawks look to cut into this 6-2 deficit here in the home half of the sixth inning. Bentz to this point of the ball game, 1 for 2. He struck out back in the first, then he singled in the third. First pitch to Bentz, misses low for a ball. Phillip Bentz, one of the more consistent hitters for Illinois Tech as of late, starting in that 4 spot, hitting in the designated hitter role. They work against Ryan Ranella. Ranella has been in control ever since Concordia was able to get back level. Remember, the Scarlet Hawks got the first 2 runs of the ball game on the home run from Paxson. But since then, Ranella has been able to shut down that Illinois Tech offense. They've really struggled against 24 and Gray. Let's see if they can try to turn it around here. Bentz jumps on that pitch, but he fouls it off to the 31st Street side of Ed Glancy Field. Ranella working here in his 6th inning. And he gets Bentz to pop one up to the first base side. Kasich shielding the sun with his glove. Makes the play. Good job by Kasich to stay with it for the first out. Comes Mason Kim.
By number 15, Mason Kim.
Mason Kim is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He grounded out to third, and he lined it out to the shortstop his first 2 times up. Now he tries to jump on the first pitch, hits one deep to left center field, all the way back to the wall. And that is caught at the wall by Hickman. Well hit by Kim, but that ball just barely brought back by Eli Hickman for the second out. Good concentration by Hickman to remain in control of the ball. He made a pretty hard run into that wall out there. I thought maybe that would have jarred the ball out of the glove. Instead, he retires Kim for the second out. Timmy Old back into the box. And Old swings and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. Old 1 for 2 so far. Struck out his first time up, doubled last time in the 4th. Old this time will hit it to the left side of the infield. Crater camps underneath it. And again, Scarlet Hawks retired in short order. 3 up, 3 down. Barely any noise made in the inning by Illinois Tech other than the long fly out from Kim. Top 7th coming up when we return. Concordia leads at 6-2. Cougars coming back to bat on the other side of this break here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network.
Now batting number 10, Michael Kasich.
Michael Kasich to lead off here in the top of the 7th for Concordia. 2-3-4 hitters against Phil Trojanowski, who's out there for his second inning of work. It'll be Kasich, Jake Mahler, and Tyler Crater. Meanwhile, Kasich, to this point of the ball game, 1 for 3. He flew out to center, he flew out to right, and then he singled. It was later picked off last time up back in the 5th. First pitch to Kasich is a ball. Kasich starting over at first base today for Concordia. Actually recorded the first out in the bottom of the 6th as Phillip Bench popped out to him. And that's a 2-0 count to Kasich. Trojanowski gets set. Tried to go to that spot on the outside corner, and he hit it that time for strike 1. Bit of a delayed signal from the home plate umpire, but that's been Trojanowski's spot. He's done a good job on that outside corner for Illinois Tech. Illinois Tech need a pretty quick inning here from Trojanowski. Then we can head to the stretch, and then hopefully Illinois Tech can get back into the box with an opportunity to cut into this 4-run deficit. Remember, this is game 1 of our doubleheader. Game 2, scheduled for approximately 3 p.m. There will be at least 30 minutes for field maintenance in between games as Kasich hits one to the right field wall, and it bounces off the wall. Kasich rounding first, on his way to second. The throw close, but Kasich ends safely as Kim was going to have to make a long stretch across his body and reach to make that tag. But a leadoff double for Kasich. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier with Michael Paxton, who hit a home run maybe a few feet left of where that ball was hit by Kasich. I mentioned that earlier. If Paxton would have maybe hit that about basically where Kasich hit it, probably would be staying with a double as opposed to the 2 on the board for Illinois Tech. Now Kasich hits one off that spot for a double for Concordia. One-0 count to Jake Mahler. Mahler homered back in the 4th. And then last time up in the 5th, he drew a walk. And then he came around to score for run number 5 on the 2-run homer from Brandon Mahler. Trojanowski with a long look at Kasich at second. And once again, Trojanowski very good at hitting that spot on the outside corner. Gets a strike, 1-2 count. Trojanowski and Kramer, they get the signal. Trojanowski looks in the throw, the pitch to the outside corner. That one got away from Trojanowski. 2-ball, 2-strike count here to Jake Mahler. Mahler has reached base safely all 3 times he's been up today. He doubled. He homered himself in the 4th, and then he walked last time up. Oh, Kramer took that one off the mask, but is able to run it down here at the backstop. But it'll lead to a 3-2 count. That ball took a funny hop. Kramer, it was as if Kramer got the glove on it, and the ball hopped off the glove, hit him in the mask, and then took the long roll to the backstop. And as a result, Concordia now has a man 90 feet from scoring, already with a 6-2 advantage on the scoreboard. Mahler works a walk. He's reached base safely all 4 times today. And now to be Tyler Crater. Concordia now will go with a pinch runner here.
Pinch running for Concordia.
That'll be Benjamin Teachin. So Benjamin Teachin will now pinch run here to replace Jake Mahler. Again, Mahler reached safely all 4 times in this game. He doubled back in the 1st, homered himself in the 4th. He walked in the 5th and came around to score on a home run. He represents run number 5, and now he works the walk here. But it'll be Benjamin Teachin who takes over on the base paths. The 0-1 count to Crater. As Trojanowski tried to go to the outside corner. Misses there for ball 1. Crater today 1 for 3. Grounded out to short. He homered himself back in the 4th solo blast to make it a 2-2 ball game at the time. And he struggled. He struck out swinging back in the 5th. Ball hit to the right side. Paxton in pursuit. That one out of play. Makes it a 1-2 count. First and third, nobody out. As Trojanowski gets back on the mound to face Crater. Tries to pick off the runner at first. Paxton has to keep an eye on the runner at third. That runner from third goes home easily. So Kasich scores. They're going to try to get Teachin. They still have him in a rundown. Kim gives it up to Riccio, and Teachin essentially just sacrificed himself over there to allow Kasich to score to make it a 7-2 ball game. We'll have to track that one down on the official scoring. I believe that was a 1-3-6-4. We'll have to confirm that. But now Trojanowski in a 2-1 count. There's a foul ball from Crater as he fouled that one right off Kramer. Actually, I think the home plate umpire was also hit with that one and may have gotten the worst of it as he has to walk this one off. 1-2 count to Crater. And now they're going to have to check on the home plate umpire here. He also going to give some new game balls here. But, yeah, he appears they took quite a shot as that one was fouled off the masks of both Kramer. And the home plate umpire ball fouled straight back. The official scoring indeed on Teachin was a 1-4-1-6-4. Or 1-3-1-6-4 to retire Teachin. Trojanowski trying to get the put away. Unsuccessful. Makes it a 2-2 count. So again, the scoring 1-3-1-6-4 to get Teachin. Regardless, Kasich scored. And now it's a 2-2 count. The 2-2. Kramer with a nice stop of the dirt. And now Crater will see a full count pitch. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Concordia to this point of the ball game. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Illinois Tech. And Trojanowski gets to strike out on the outside corner. Works to his familiar spot. He gets Crater. Second time Crater has been retired on strikes. Crater now 1 for 4. His last 2 outs, strikeout swinging, strikeout looking. And now here's Brandon Mahler. Mahler 1 for 3 in the ball game. But the one was a big one. It was a 2-run homer back in the 5th. Made it 6-2 Concordia at the time. It was an interesting at bat as well. He stepped out of the box with 2 strikes to go get the sign. Stepped into the box and he ripped one to right center field. But here with 2 strikes, he finds himself in an 0-2 hole against Trojanowski. Have to think this is going to be a pitch low and away to Mahler. That's been Trojanowski's spot for the putaways. The 0-2. He went there, but he missed it a little bit too far outside. You can even see Field tap his chest for ball 1. With only 1 ball here in the count, wouldn't be surprised if he goes right back there for the strikeout. Tried to go a little lower that time and missed again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away in the inning. The delivery from Trojanowski popped straight in the air. Kemp's underneath it. Has to block out the sun. Good job by the left fielder, Old, as he calls Kim off for the out. And Illinois Tech gets out of the top of the 7th. But Concordia extends their lead to 5. It's 7-2 Cougars. Time to stretch here at Ed Glancy Field. We'll be back with more here on the other side of this break. Scarlet Hawks baseball here on YouTube Live. Ryan Ranella back on the mound here for Concordia as we get ready to begin the bottom of the 7th. Ranella to this point of the ball game through 6 innings of work has struck out 6. He's walked 1. He's given up 5 hits, 2 runs, both of which earned via the 2-run homer from Michael Paxton. But even more important, I'm sure, for Concordia, pitch count right at 70, well below triple digits here, with Concordia up 7-2. And now Ranella gets ready to take on the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Scarlet Hawks. Tom Kramer, Jack Finch, Mario Riccio, the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up, due up for the Scarlet Hawks in the bottom of the 7th. Kramer to this point of the ball game, he flew out earlier in the 2nd, and then he laid down a bunt, which allowed Timmy Old to advance to 3rd. However, Old was stranded back in the 4th inning. First pitch here to Kramer. He fouls straight back into the netting. Illinois Tech 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Remember, Illinois Tech, these their final 2 home games of the season. And then they'll have 3 series on the road to conclude the season. They'll take on Concordia University of Wisconsin. They'll see the Falcons on April 26th. They'll see Benedictine on April 29th. And then they conclude the season on May 2nd against the Dominican Stars out at Wintrust Field in Schaumburg. 1-1 count as Kramer fouls one to the right side, and that one just into the Illinois Tech bullpen. That was Dorsch in pursuit, but Tyler Dorsch unable to make the plays. Now Kramer, 1-2 count. Let's see how he approaches this at bat, and vice versa for Ranella. Ranella right down the pipe gets the strikeout to retire Kramer.
Now batting number 24, Jack Finch.
Another strikeout for Ranella, as now he'll see Jack Finch, who also was a victim of the strikeout earlier back in the 3rd. Finch 0 for 2 to this point of the ball game with a strikeout and a fly out to left. First pitch to Finch is a ball here, makes it a 1-0 count. Finch tried to go down and golf that one. Instead, he fouls it off to the left side. Evens our count at 1-1. If you're just joining us, Illinois Tech actually had the early lead. It was 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. And Concordia earlier in the game had a home run taken off the board in that same inning. That was back in the top of the 3rd when Eli Hickman actually hit out of turn. But to bring that story back all the way around, what happened was in the top of the 2nd, Concordia had a stolen base erased when Brendan Holloway reached safely, but because Hickman took a swing and miss, he was ruled out for batter's interference. Neither team really recognized that Hickman had hit out of order until he had a full at bat against Alejandro Garcia. It was such a full at bat that he hit a home run, and it was actually after he scored that everyone realized he had hit out of turn, and then he was ruled out for the first out of the 3rd. After that, Michael Paxton hit a 2-run homer for Illinois Tech to open the scoring, and since then it's been all Concordia. They've scored 7 straight as now Finch grounds out.
Now batting number 8, Mario Riccio.
1 home run taken off the board. Didn't stop Concordia from hitting 3 later in the game. Jake Mahler, Tyler Crater, and Brandon Mahler all have gone yard for the Cougars. And Michael Paxton also with a home run for Illinois Tech. 2 away in the inning for Riccio as he takes ball 1 high. Mario Riccio drew a walk his first time up back in the 3rd. Then he struck out looking in the 4th. When he drew the walk in the 3rd, he was the runner on base when Paxton hit the 2-run homer. So of the 2, Riccio is 1. And now he finds himself in a 1-2 hole against Ranella. Riccio being He's been getting a number of starts for Illinois Tech at second, of course, with Fryer out, and then in this game, no Bovee. So he's been certainly seeing his share of playing time for Illinois Tech as of late. And now Riccio goes down swinging as Ranella makes short work of the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Illinois Tech. A pair of strikeouts in the inning for Ryan Ranella. Ranella sitting at 8 strikeouts on the day. Top 8 on the other side of this break. Concordia leads it 7-2 when we return to Ed Glancy Field after this. (7-2) Concordia, University of Chicago. Cougars lead it here of the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Top of the 8th, as it'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up here for Concordia. Yashawn Boswell, Brendan Holloway, and Eli Hickman. Boswell to lead it off. Boswell 1 for 3 here this afternoon. He struck out in the second, singled in the fourth, and then he flew out to center back in the fifth. First pitch here in the 8th is a ball to Boswell. Boswell starting at second base today here in game 1 for Concordia. Still to come at approximately 3 p.m. Game 2 of our doubleheader between these same two teams, the Scarlet Hawks and the Cougars. As Phil Trojanowski now misses outside 2-0. There will at least be a 30-minute intermission in between games 1 and 2 for field maintenance to get the infield dirt ready for game 2. So at the moment, that 3 p.m. remains a solid time, but still approximately 3 p.m. between the Scarlet Hawks and Cougars. We'll have that all for you here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Trojanowski with the strike there after missing away on ball 2, and now he misses away here for ball 3. See, Phil Trojanowski has been working pretty well on that outside corner. But you can see him starting to tap his chest a little bit more on some of the misses. But he got one in there for a 3-2 count. So to set up the payoff here against Yashawn Boswell. Here's the 3-2. Boswell pops it straight up. Fouls it straight back. Out of play. See Boswell actually smiling on that one. I think he thought he had the pitch he wanted, but just a little bit late. Typically, we foul it back just a little bit late. 3-2. He was on time for that one as he hits it in the left field and drives it down in front of Timmy Old. Boswell going for 2. The throw in a second just behind the bag. Tough scoop for Riccio. And Yashawn Boswell with his second hit of the day. He's got a single. Now he's got a double.
Brendan Holloway.
2 for 4 for Boswell to this point in game 1. And now here comes Brendan Holloway. Holloway 0 for 2 with a walk. But now here comes Ed Ziefert walking out to the mound, and he'll take the ball from Phil Trojanowski. And that will do it for Trojanowski. Illinois Tech will now use their 5th pitcher here in Game 1, as it appears that Illinois Tech will go to the pen in favor of Alexander Lazis, the senior out of Arlington Heights, Illinois. Lazis will warm up, and when we return, he'll be ready to go. We'll give you the numbers and more on Alexander Lazis after this break. 7-2 Cougars when we return to Ed Glancy Field after this timeout. Alex Lazis, the new pitcher for Illinois Tech here in the top of the 8th.
Now batting number
He has
50,
faced Brendan Holloway. Will be the first batter faced for Lazis here. Lazis is the 5th pitcher used by Coach Ed Ziefert here in Game 1. For Lazis, this will be his 8th appearance this season. He's appeared in 9 2/3 innings for Illinois Tech. Lazis has struck out 7, but he's walked 14 this season. Has a .311 batting average against. And he missed on his first pitch there to Holloway, 1-0. Holloway showing bunt. Bunts it right back to Lazis. Oh, Lazis tried to barehand it, and just too much momentum as he overran it. And that'll allow both runners to be safe.
Now batting number 19, Eli Hickman.
Runners on the corners, and they're going to score that a base hit for Holloway. That was going to be a tough play for Lazis, but as a result, Holloway able to get in safely. Runners on the corners with no one out for Boswell. For Hickman, with Boswell standing at 3rd. Lazis hits Hickman, and that'll load the bases.
Now batting number 8, Richie Sperando.
So now Richie Sperando will come to the plate. Nobody out in the inning. And it appears that Sperando actually will not hit for himself here, as Concordia will go with a pinch hitter.
Pinch hitting for Concordia.
And that'll be
16,
Xavier Zagerman. So Xavier Zagerman will come in, the sophomore out of Chandler, Arizona. Will face Lazis. So he'll now hit in the 9th spot, will Zagerman. And he'll go up against, once again, he'll face Lazis. Zagerman this season. Or actually, he'll replace Sperando here. Sperando, to this point of the game, was 0 for 2 with a walk. Sperando came around to score earlier in the game. That was back in the 5th inning after he worked the walk. He came in to score on a passed ball. Zagerman bloops one to the third base side. It gets over the head of Finch, and it gets down. That will score Boswell easily. Holloway holds up. And now it's 8-2 Concordia. Pinch hit situation for Zagerman, and he comes through to keep the line moving for Concordia.
Tyler Dorsch.
So now here comes Tyler Dorsch. Lineup turns over for Tyler Dorsch. Didn't even get a chance to get the numbers there on Zagerman as he came in and got the base hit. Zagerman this season just able to slot in and do what was needed for his team as he came through with a huge hit in that moment. It's Tyler Dorsch at the plate, the leadoff hitter today for Concordia. It's an 8-2 ball game. Strike one, now ball one to Dorsch. Zagerman this season was a 208 hitter, and with that hit, that was his 16th run batted in this season for the Cougars. Now the ball ripped by Dorsch in the left center field, and it gets through the glove of Old. It scores one in Holloway. It scores two. It looks like that's going to clear all the bases as now Zagerman comes in. A 3-run double from Dorsch, and that makes it 11-2 Concordia. Tyler Dorsch just about cleared them all there. Now he'll take his place out at second. Concordia adding 3 on the double. 13th hit of the game there for the Cougars. And it now puts Illinois Tech in danger of the early termination rule if you're unfamiliar with NCAA Division III baseball. 10-run lead after 7 constitutes the early termination rule. Now Illinois Tech will get an opportunity, say Concordia were to score here and make it 12-2. Illinois Tech would get at least 3 chances, the 3 outs if needed. 3 outs as needed to at least try to get that score back to within 10. But it is worth mentioning here is now Kasich hits one out to left center field. That ball is going back and is gone. Michael Kasich with a home run. The 4th of the day for the Cougars, and they now lead at 13-2. And the early termination rule is now in play as the Cougars have poured it on here in the 8th, a 6-run inning. Michael Kasich with his 5th home run of the season, and he drops a 2-run blast to make it 13-2 Concordia.
Pinch hitting for Concordia is number 72, Connor Jerkadis.
So now Connor Jerkadis, the sophomore out of New Lenox, Illinois, he will pinch hit here. He will actually hit in that 3 spot where we saw Jake Mahler hit earlier in the game. It was Mahler who hit there to start. Then Benjamin Teachin was the pinch hitter, the pinch runner when he came in. And so now it'll be Jerkadis who comes in for Concordia. "13 runs, 14 hits, 1 error for Concordia. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. That 2 seems like a long time ago. That was back in the 3rd, the 2-run homer for Michael Paxson. Oddly enough, those were the first 2 runs either team had scored to this point, at that point of the game. Mason Kim struggling with the ground ball over at short. And Jerkadis is safe. They'll score that in E6 on Kim. And that will be the first error of the afternoon against Illinois Tech.
Pinch running for CUC is number 21, Josiah King.
And now pinch runner for Jerkadis will be number 21.
Now batting number 52, Tyler Crater.
It'll be Josiah King. So that 3 spot, Concordia using that 3 spot for their subs here, their reserves. We've seen Mahler, Teachin, Jerkadis, and now King. Meanwhile, Tyler Crater will come into the box, the number 4 hitter for the Cougars. It's 1 for 4. He grounded out to short. homered back in the fourth, and then he struck out twice. He struck out looking and swinging. Will not strike out here as he hits that one quite a ways for another Concordia home run. And the Cougars continuing to add to their lead, now 15-2. It's an 8-run eighth for the Cougars. Illinois Tech still yet to record an out in the inning.
Now batting number 9, Brandon Mahler.
And now Brandon Mahler will step into the box. Mahler also hit a home run earlier in the ball game. That was back in the fifth. Laz is able to get a strike here against Mahler. As Illinois Tech, they've seen this one really slip away in the eighth. It was a 7-2 start to the inning, and now a pop-up for the out. First out of the inning recorded, this time by Riccio.
Now batting number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
Concordia has batted around in the inning, and now for the second time in the inning, we'll see Yashawn Boswell. Boswell with the leadoff double to get the party started here in the eighth for Concordia. He later came around to score as Lazarus gets one over for a strike. And now Lazarus working the outside corner. Ed Ziefert again just pacing in front of that Scarlet Hawks dugout. His team down 15-2 to this point of the ball game. Now Boswell rips one up the gut again. Boswell reaching safely for the second time in the inning. He doubled the first time. He singles this time. And now here comes Brendan Holloway. That was the 16th hit of the game for Concordia. 15 runs, 16 hits, 1 error for the Cougars. Boswell goes. The throw to second. Good job by Riccio, able to guide that ball into the glove. But all of the extra motion allows Boswell to steal. And now he's back in scoring position with only one out here in the eighth. It's an 8-run eighth for Concordia. As now Holloway flies one out to right field, actually right center. It'll be caught by Yaknin for the second out.
Now batting number 19, Eli Hickman.
And now here comes Eli Hickman, who was hit by a pitch earlier in the inning. And he was the third runner to score for Concordia here in the inning. Run number 10 of the 15 on the scoreboard. 1-0 count to Hickman. And Lazarus at this point is trying to get the out to get Illinois Tech back to the plate. And a ball 2 to Hickman as that one misses low and away. Boswell, Holloway, Hickman, Zagerman, Dorsch, Kasich, King, and Crater. 8 runs for Concordia in this 8th inning. Three balls, no strikes. And a strike to make it a 3-1 count as Lazarus puts one low at the knees, low and in at the knees on Hickman. Remember, early termination rule has been activated to 15-2 Concordia lead. So Illinois Tech will be down to their final 3 outs in the home half of the 8th once Lazarus gets the 3rd and final out. Hickman fouls one off. And we'll do it again here, 3-2. Boswell standing out at second. Hickman awaits the pitch. Lazarus loses him. And so now we will see. Let's see if Zegerman hits again here.
16, Xavier Zegerman.
And Zegerman will hit again here. Remember, Zegerman came in as a pinch hitter and got the RBI, which allowed Boswell to score earlier. At the time, was an 8-2 ball game. Since then, Concordia has put up 8 in the inning. First and second, 2 away. The 1-0 in the dirt from Lazarus. Zagerman is able to lay it off. Zagerman replacing Sperando, who started at shortstop today. It'll be interesting to see some of these defensive changes for Concordia as they go into what could be the final 3 outs in the bottom of the 8th. The bullpen has been active for Concordia for maybe the last 2 innings, but Ryan Ranella has remained out there. And let's see if they put him out here to try to close the door in the 8th inning. The 2-1. Makes it a 2-2 count here. And now Lazarus trying to get the out. Runners go. Ball hit in the left center field. That one going to be charged, and that's going to get down. That's going to score Boswell, and that'll make it 16-2 Concordia as Boswell scores for the second time in the inning. 9 runs in the inning for the Cougars.
Now batting number 23, Tyler Dorsch.
So Tyler Dorsch back to the plate. Dorsch doubled and came in to score early in the inning on the home run. He was the 12th run for Concordia. And actually, I say the home run. He came in on the first home run, which was hit by Kasich to make it 13-2 at the time. Lazarus misses outside, makes it ball 1. (16-2) score. Concordia has played at 9 here in the 8th. 2 balls and a strike. (3-1) as Lazarus still just trying to get that final out of the inning here. Concordia has certainly kept the offense going. And now Dortch works a walk. So that'll load the bases up.
Now batting number 10, Michael Kasich.
For Michael Kasich. Remember, Kasich homered earlier in the inning to make it 13-2 at the time. And Concordia, although they have 2 outs here, they are threatening the possibility of hitting around the order twice if they can get it back to Yashawn Boswell. Still quite a ways to go for that to happen, as Kasich is the 2 hitter, Boswell is the 6 hitter in the order. So 1-1 count. And now 2-1. Remember, Kasich today has reached base 3 times. Well, reached safely 3 times. He hit the homer earlier in the inning. Now Kasich gives this one a ride out to center. Yaknin converging on, and it drops in. 1 run scores. Another in behind him, and Concordia just continuing to add to their lead. 18-2 Cougars. As Hickman and Zagerman both come in behind.
Now batting number 21, Josiah King.
And now Josiah King will be the hitter in the 3 spot. Now Ed Ziefert. It appears he will go to the bullpen here, as this inning has just gotten away from Illinois Tech. Huge inning for Concordia. And now Ed Ziefert will go to the bullpen for one more arm to replace Lazis. We'll take a break while the new pitcher comes on. Concordia leads at 18-2 here in the top of the 8th.
Pitching change for Illinois Tech. Now pitching number 28, Jackson Nutter.
18 runs, 18 hits, 1 error for Concordia. The Cougars have put 11 across here in the 8th. And Alexander Lazis has been pulled out of the ballgame, and now the new pitcher will be Jackson Nutter for the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Nutter is listed as a fielder, but he has a number of pitching appearances for Illinois Tech this season. This will be appearance number 6 on the mound for Nutter. In the previous 5 appearances, he has exactly 5 innings. He struck out 4. He's walked 2. He has a 12.60 earned run average. But Nutter's job is pretty simple here. Just come in and get this last out of the 8th inning, where the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars have certainly poured it on offensively. 11 runs in the 8th. They have 18 runs, 18 hits, 1 error to this point of the ballgame. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. As now Nutter continues to warm up. He'll try to come on and at least get this final out. And he will do it against Josiah King, who actually came in as a pinch runner. King came in as a pinch runner earlier in the inning and then later came around to score.
Now batting number 21, Josiah King.
So King, remember, came in as a pinch runner earlier in the inning. He later came around to score. He was run number 14 at the time. Now Jackson Nutter Just trying to get King out here to retire Concordia in this huge 11-run 8th inning. King has only had one other at-bat this season. He's usually used in a pinch run role. King, actually, this is only his second at-bat of the season. But in previous games played, which has been 6 for Concordia, he has 2 runs scored. This is 7th game played. And now King rips one to right field. That gets through for Josiah King, his first hit of the season. And he scores Dortch, and Concordia adding on 19-2.
Now batting number 52, Tyler Crater.
Actually, Concordia able to plate 2 in the inning. Plate 2 on that hit from King. That'll now make it a 20. Concordia continuing to pour it on here on Nutter now. So it's a 20-2 ball game with Cassick coming in to score behind Dortch. This is Tyler Crater. Crater with a pair of home runs. Crater homered back in the 4th. That was run number 2 for Concordia at the time, and then he homered earlier in this inning for run number 15. Ball fouled away. That one just going to stay here inside Ed Glancy Field, but it's a 1-2 count. Illinois Tech will be down to their final 3 outs in the bottom of the 8th. As Jackson Nutter looks for the put-away pitch. Feels like Concordia's been on 2 outs for quite some time here. Nutter throws one over, and that one fouled away. Paxson in pursuit. Long run as that one gets out of play. 13 runs here in the 8th for Concordia. They sit at 20 runs. 19 hits and 1 error. Illinois Tech 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. They've been in the field for quite some time here in the 8th. That one fouled right back to the net on the 1-2. Crater today 2 for 5. And the 2 were both home runs. He grounded out to short in the 1st. He struck out swinging in the 5th. He struck out looking in the 7th. But he's responsible for runs 2 and 15 for Concordia today. Fouls one off here to keep himself alive. With 2 outs in the inning, should Concordia get this back to Yashawn Boswell, they will have hit around the order 2 times here in the inning. Crater hits one in the left field. That gets down. King hustling hard around second on his way to third. He slides in. Crater also sliding into second. And Concordia keeping that line moving even though there are 2 outs here in the 8th.
Now batting number 9, Brandon Mahler.
That'll bring up Brandon Mahler. Brandon Mahler is actually 1 for 5 in this ball game. But that 1 was a home run back in the 5th, and at the time it was a 6-2 Concordia lead. And now Mahler rips one right back up the gut. King will score easily. Number 21 represents exactly that number of runs for Concordia. As now it's 21-2 Cougars.
Now batting number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
And now Yashawn Boswell will come to the plate. And with that, Boswell, this will be his 3rd at bat of the inning. Concordia has hit around the order twice, with Boswell doubling and singling, coming around the score representing runs 8 and 16. Pitch in the dirt there for a ball. (21 runs, 21 hits for Concordia. Boswell hits one to right. Juan in pursuit, and it lands in fair territory. Crater will score. Boswell will get to second. The throw is errant, and now another run will come in behind Crater. That's Mahler. He will score, and it's now 23-2 Concordia.
Now batting number 50, Brendan Holloway.
Brendan Holloway back in the box. This will be his third at bat of the inning. He singled and later came around to score to represent run number 9, and he's actually one of the 2 outs in the inning as he flew out to center. Concordia just continuing to keep the bats working here against Illinois Tech here in this 8th inning. Holloway hits one to right center field. Yaknin retires Holloway. So Holloway out twice in the inning. Both times he flew out to center field. But that's not before Concordia put up 16 runs in the 8th. Scarlet Hawks coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th. Final 3 outs for Illinois Tech when we return to Ed Glancy Field after this.
Jig it out.
Huge 8th for Concordia, to say the least, as they batted around the lineup 3 times in the inning. Actually batted around twice. Had a couple of batters who hit 3 times in the inning. It is a 16-run 8th inning for Concordia. They lead at 23-2. 23 runs, 22 hits, 1 error. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech has 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. And the Scarlet Hawks are actually back at the top of the order with Luke Yaknin, Michael Paxton, and Lucas Juan due up for what represents the final 3 outs of this game, with the early termination rule being activated.
Now batting number 3, Luke Yaknin.
But those 3 will see a new pitcher. It will be Bryce Jones on the mound, number 40 for Concordia. And his first pitch to Yaknin is in for a strike. Bryce Jones, this is his 15th appearance this season, 3-2 record. He's appeared in 17 innings for Concordia, 13 strikeouts, 14 walks. He's allowed 13 runs, 3 of which have been earned on the season. Also a pair of saves for Jones, but he misses outside here to Yaknin. .257 batting average against Jones this season from opposing hitters. Meanwhile, Luke Yaknin, who's been aggressive throughout the day, at least try to extend this game for Illinois Tech, but they have a major uphill battle in terms of forcing a 9th inning. Remember, the early termination rule is 10 runs after 7. Concordia up 21 here, leading it 23-2 with a 16-run top of the 8th. Meanwhile, Yaknin Gets underneath one. Hits it over to the right side. And that's an easy catch by Kasich for the first out.
Now batting number 99, Michael Paxson.
Michael Paxson hit a 2-run homer back in the third. And that 2-run homer, those were the only 2 runs Illinois Tech has been able to scratch across to this point of the game. At the time, Illinois Tech had a 2-0 advantage thanks to that homer from Paxson, as he was able to homer and score Riccio as well. But for Illinois Tech, they even still were within striking distance coming into this 8th inning. It was only 7-2. But Concordia able to put up 16 in the top half and battered around the lineup twice. Paxson rips one in their left field for a base hit. So Paxson actually has reached safely 3 times in the game.
Number 4, Freddie Swingle.
And now Freddie Swingle will come in. He'll pinch hit here for Illinois Tech. He'll replace Juan here in the bottom of the 8th. So Swingle will go up against Jones, as it appears Illinois Tech, not only with Swingle, they will go with Xavier Minor, who is in the on-deck circle. So Minor likely will hit for Phillip Bentz, barring a double play ball here. As Swingle, a left-hander, going up against a left-hander here. Swingle hits one into center field. That ball will be caught for the second out. Still to come, game 2 of our doubleheader between these same 2 schools, Concordia. Remember, it's going to be a approximately 30-minute intermission for field maintenance, and then we'll have game 2 of our doubleheader right here for you on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Concordia with a huge top of the 8th as they try to salt this one away as Xavier Minor comes in swinging and missing at strike 1. Concordia had a big game on Saturday against Lakeland on their senior day, able to win 20-4 in game 1 of that doubleheader. Minor hits one to the right side of the field as that play is made to end the game. 23-2 final, Concordia with the win. It was a 16-run top of the 8th, and also the Cougars with 6 home runs in this game as they win game 1 of our doubleheader. Once again, the final 23-2, 23 runs, 22 hits, 1 error. Illinois Tech, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Concordia with their win, they go to 21-13 on the season. Their 12th win in conference play, 12-7. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech, they fall to 10-22, 6-11 in conference play. And Illinois Tech, unfortunately, dropped their 7th straight contest at the hands of the Cougars. Game 2 of our doubleheader scheduled for approximately 30 minutes. After this one, we'll try to get an official time before game 2 begins, but approximately 30 minutes. We'll be right back here at Ed Glancy Field. And once again, our final for game 1, the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars win it 23-2 over the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Game 2 still to come. I'm Chris Rouse sitting behind home plate. I'll be here for game 2 as well. And we hope you can join us as soon as we get everything underway here from Ed Glancy Field in Chicago. Concordia winning game 1 by the final of 23-2 thanks to a huge top of the 8th where the Cougars played it 16 runs to put this one away from Illinois Tech. We'll take a break, and when we return, game 2 will begin on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. We hope to see you then.